tell you something, fellas. Finding a shirt that actually fits right should not feel like some kind of impossible mission. Most tees are either too tight or they're way too baggy. But at True Classic, they have nailed it. True Classic shirts are snug in the arms and in the chest, but there's just enough room in the midsection. It's like they were custom made for athletes like us, but without that crazy price tag. Now that fall is here, it is time to upgrade. True Classic has everything. Long sleeve Henleys, waffle hoodies, jeans, joggers, you name it. I wear mine everywhere. I'll wear it to the gym. I'll wear it doing errands. I'll wear it going out to dinner. And I get compliments everywhere. So will you. Trust me. You can also buy them in a pack. They got 3, they got 6, they got 9. It'll save you money and you can bundle. The best part, it comes with a 100% perfect fit guarantee. No risk, no hassle. If you don't like it, easy returns. Over 4 million guys are already in on this. And there's over 200,000 reviews to back it up. Fall is here. That means, guys, it is time to step up your wardrobe. Head over to trueclassic.com/Chael to save on bundle packs. Shop now at trueclassic.com/Chael to elevate your game. Or just click the link below. Derrick Lewis says Daniel Cormier is a POS. Derrick Lewis says he will not be doing post-fight antics moving forward. Derrick Lewis says he's got to keep his pants on because he's recently been going to his children's school and he's not comfortable when classmates ask him if his balls are hot. Derrick Lewis says Stipe Miocic will not get out of the first round with Jon Jones. Now, I got to tell you, those are all very hot topics, and I have missed Derrick Lewis. I didn't really realize that I haven't had much Derrick in my life until he reemerged with this. And of the Derrick Lewis says topics, I am completely uncomfortable discussing each and every one of them, except for the claim he makes that Stipe will not get out of the first round with Jon Jones. Isn't it interesting? Isn't this interesting? Derrick Lewis fought for championships. 2 right off the top of my head. Interim championship in his hometown against Ciryl Gane. World Undisputed Championship at the very arena, Madison Square, that Stipe and Jones will be competing. And isn't that interesting that Derrick Lewis never crossed paths with Stipe in all this time? And I would love to get the opinion of somebody that's felt them both. I've gone around asking, like doing my own due diligence, trying to find somebody that has felt, practice room counts, that has felt George St. Pierre and felt Khabib. I've been trying to find that common opponent. I haven't done it yet. But I do love when common opponents will bring something to us. And if anybody has the right to an opinion or would know about the pressures that are going to be felt when a heavyweight title is on the line and it's in Madison Square Garden, I think Derrick is a good place to start. But boy, he says that Stipe can't get out of 1 round. I mean, you would be crowning Jon Jones the GOAT. And I know that argument's out there. I know that it exists. But right now, here today, as I speak to you, he's not ranked as the greatest of this era, let alone of all time. I mean, could you imagine? Somebody gets rid of Stipe like it's nothing? And we've seen Stipe go down. We've seen him get caught. Francis caught him. Francis put him down. It's not as though we're saying that can't happen, but to do it in the very first round, you never even get going with Stipe when he's at his best, before you even work fatigue into this. Before you work all the negative things that can come in a fight, including a fighter's mind that can start to unravel, or a fighter's eye that can swell shut, or a fighter's nose where he's having a hard time breathing because he's got a broken nose. Those things don't generally happen in the first round, and they don't generally happen by Jon Jones, and they don't generally happen to a guy that they say is the most successful weight of all time. It's Stipe Miocic. But Derrick Lewis says that they will. And I would have a hard time with that. I would have a hard time on any aspect of it. If I were Derrick Lewis and I was to say those words, I would have a hard time producing those words. I would stand and defend my division. But one thing that is a reality, very different from a perception, is that bigger is better. that the heavier guys must be the better guys. The heavyweight class is the perennial class just based on their size alone. And we have found out over time that the smaller guy always has the advantage. The hardest guy to wrestle. You can change that wrestle. It's one-on-one combat. You can change that to judo, to boxing, to MMA. But the hardest guy to wrestle is the top guy from one weight class below you. And that doesn't matter if you're the top guy in the weight class that we're discussing. If it was national champ versus national champ, the guy coming up in weight always has the advantage, is always the hardest guy, and historically wins. Now, for Derrick to just hand that to Jon Jones, I couldn't quite tell if he was praising Jon, which that is very big praise, or if he was questioning Stipe, which would be fair. You have the right to question Stipe, just because he's been gone for such a period of time. And I used to know the stats on this right off the top of my head when it very first started getting talked about, which was for March of last year, which ended up being, no, it was this year, wasn't it? Surreal? Did they fight this year or was it a year ago? Jiminy Christmas. I mean, do you see the problem? It was this year. But do you see the problem? Stipe was going to have been gone. At the time they started talking about Stipe versus Jones, Stipe was going to be gone for 3 years, and Jon Jones will have had fought one time within 4 years. But all the negativity or the lack of experience or the age or the rust coming to biting you in the ass, however, whatever adage you choose to go with, it would apply to both guys, no? If you say, well, Stipe's old, well, but not that much older than Jon. Like, I won't argue with you if you tell me that Stipe is old by fighter standards. I won't argue with you, but I would argue if you told me that Jon was young. So it's a big claim by Derrick Lewis, and I'm just wondering what you guys think. I mean, let's play that through. Let's make Derrick Lewis right? Hypothetically, let's make Derrick right. How? Do you believe that Jon can just go take Stipe down whenever he wants? If you do believe that, now that's something that Daniel Cormier couldn't do. Daniel had the better part of 15 rounds to do it. One of the fights, there was 2 takedowns, and Stipe got them both. I'm just reminding you, do you believe that Jon, as great as he is with takedowns, can come just take Stipe down? Like, are we talking about a ground and pound and we get him out of here? Like Surreal gone. Ground and pound, move to something, you find a submission, give a guy a window, he takes it. Do you think that Stipe's the kind of guy that would take that? Stipe's the kind of guy that would jump out that window? I'm talking about the window of quitting. It's very hard to get a guy out of there in the first round unless he plays along. At this level, he's got to play along. But Mike Tyson went the better part of a decade with guys that were playing along. They were scared. They were human beings. I understand it. But do you think that's going to happen to Stipe? If you don't, we're left back in the stand-up realm. Do you think that Jon Jones can knock out Stipe Miocic? I mean, I feel like if I was to twist this for you guys, I had a crystal ball and go, hey guys, I can't tell you what happened. I didn't see the ending of it, but I met this wizard. He had a crystal ball. And the one thing I do know about the Jones and Stipe fight, they never go to the ground. The whole thing is stand-up. I feel like not only would the line move, it would move in Stipe's favor. Am I wrong about that? Do you believe that Jon is the better stand-up fighter? And that is the one place where that size does actually come in. That is the one place where the power actually comes in. The whole history in combat, and I brought it to you a moment ago, whether it was judo, wrestling, boxing, or MMA, the whole reason that historically the lighter guy, the guy moving up a weight class has an advantage is in the wrestling component, not in the striking. So if it was to be a stand-up battle, and I'll leave you with one final thought. Do we accept that we know what Stipe is going to look like at this weight? Because don't forget, it's the biggest storyline of the fight, and nobody's telling it. Which is when Stipe exited the octagon his last time, which was a world title fight, he fell down and stubbed his toe against Ngannou. That made it 1-1 in Stipe and Ngannou's competitive careers against each other. Stipe believed he was going to go into a trilogy with Ngannou. And Stipe thought, I'm not enough man. I'm not a big enough person. And he worked with his family, and he worked with his coaches, and he put on that size. Now, Ngannou's gone. Jones is in. And do you really think that size and that power doesn't matter, because it sure helped Khamzat Chimaev. When Khamzat Chimaev just put some size on, settled in to 185 pounds, to where that was the weight that he had to pull down to, and he was never going below that. He wasn't going back down to 170. We did start to see very clearly how good size can be very helpful. And Derrick Lewis says that Jon Jones would get rid of Stipe within the first round. Do you agree with that?